passed away. That was the result of her not being too poor. She was young, she was a young mother. She should not have been taken at that time. So that was some of the things that I went through when growing up. And as I started to get older, my dad went to India, got married, mother came over, so we had a second mother. I call her my second mother. She's not passed on, but I call her my second mother, and she did a great job with us. However, when I reached the age of 18, I had some issues with my father, and I became homeless for a short while. And when I was homeless, my brother had the same issue with me, my older brother. He went and slept in over at Phoenix Park. I myself went over to a refuge in Wolverhampton and stayed there for a couple of days, where I was exposed to potentially influence from individuals that, not that they weren't nice, they had their own issues going on. However, whilst I was there, I noticed that people were trying to get me to take drugs, alcohol, and potential violence. It isn't a nice place to be. Most people that struggle with homelessness, it's either going to be alcohol and drugs, or it's going to be mental health, or it's going to be trauma. Some of those I was going through, I didn't get into the alcohol and the drugs, but mental health and the trauma was a big thing for me, going through what I've gone through back then. Or it could be debt issues, which I didn't have back then. And I remember working with a young person, aged 18, works for social services. I'm not going to mention any names. 2 years I worked with this young man. He was a 6-bedded home. And when I was working there, I remember sometimes I was going to go on duty and I would feel sick. I didn't want to go to work. I felt sick going into work. Anyway, what happened was, after 2 years of working with this young man, he decided to trust me. He decided to talk to me. He decided to become my friend as his carer, which I found was, to me, that was one of the most enjoyable things of working in that environment. So from being an arch enemy to a friend, that was great. But then there was another situation where I had working with a young girl that had been abused sexually and physically, and we were sitting down as we were watching the TV. There was a group of us, and now I'm not a touchy person, but this young girl put her head on my shoulder. And when she put her head on my shoulder, I became very self-aware, because I'm not a touchy person. So I didn't flinch, I didn't move, I just let it be for that moment. And that young girl, at that moment, must have felt very secure. She had a fiery temper. And for me, that was fantastic. Again, that was another experience where I got to change an individual's perception that was 16-year-old, that was struggling with life, that was struggling with some of the feelings that you just mentioned. This young girl, the system failed her. She was fiery. She got into an argument with the manager of the unit, and then she was passed out to go into independent living. They wanted to get rid of her, so they sent her to a flat. She became pregnant at the age of 16, and within 3-4 months of her leaving the unit, from 3 months of her leaving that unit, she got into an argument with her ex-boyfriend, and someone, we don't know what happened exactly, but she was pushed off the flat, and she sadly passed away, which was sad. There's another situation that I worked with. This was part of the people that I was working as part of the PC as a youth community carer, with a with a young man, Mr. M, I called him. My work with him was very coordinated and coordinated because he was told once before I would work with him that Vic Ash is going to come to work with him. And he was also told that come and work with him, he's going to help you with whatever's going on in your life, etc. Now that young man used to watch Supernatural Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. He would watch the next series, but he would keep on watching the program over and over. So when you would talk to him, if he disagreed with you or he was asking him not to do something, he would start drawing on the tables. And you'd say, well, why are you doing this? And he'd turn around and say something along the lines of, well, it's called demon language. That's what he used to say to me, call it demon language. And then at times he would turn around. It was a strange case because his grandfather was his father. If you can read between the lines, his grandfather was his father. He went through a lot of violence, a lot of abuse. But I did 3 months work with him. We used to play pool. And believe me, when he used to sit in my car, because I used to give the lift, my car would smell for the whole week. It was that bad. His hygiene was very poor. So within 3 months, I got him to change his dress code and got him to start changing the way he groomed himself. So we would play pool. Pool is a very special game. Pool is about planning. Pool is about where you're going to put the next ball after you put the first one. And that's what I got him to think about. So when we first started, what he would do is I would turn around and some balls would fly into the pockets. I don't know how. And I would say to him,